If you're an indie author and you want your print books to be available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, indie bookstores, libraries, you need a strategy that works. A lot of authors don't realize that the best option is to publish your book through both KDP and IngramSpark using the same ISBN. Yes, it's possible, yes, it works, and yes, you absolutely can do it. But only if you do it in the right order with the right setup. So let me walk you through exactly how to do that step by step. But first, a quick note. I've used this method myself many times, and so have many authors I'm friends with. It's reliable, but some things have changed since I made my first video about this several years ago. So this video contains everything you need to know as of now, which is July 2025, with all the updated information. So first, why should you use KDP and IngramSpark? KDP is Amazon's self-publishing platform. It's easy to use, the back end is author-friendly, and the printing costs are relatively low. When you publish a paperback through KDP, your book is automatically available through Amazon. They also offer something called expanded distribution, which sounds great. It makes your book theoretically available to other bookstores and libraries outside of Amazon. But here's the problem. Most bookstores, almost all of them, don't want to order from Amazon. Amazon is their biggest competitor and is eating all their business, so even if you opt into expanded distribution, the other bookstores will probably just ignore your book completely. And that's where IngramSpark comes in. IngramSpark is part of Ingram, one of the largest book distributors in the world. Pretty much every bookstore and library already has a relationship with them. So when you get your book into the IngramSpark catalog, it becomes accessible to all those other places. IngramSpark also distributes to Amazon, but I still recommend using KDP for your Amazon distribution. Here's why. KDP's interface is easier to work with. You don't have to pay KDP any revision fees if you want to make changes to your book years later. Printing costs tend to be lower through KDP. You may earn more royalties per sale. And it's widely believed, but not hard proven, that Amazon prioritizes KDP published books over IngramSpark books in their search listings. So your goal should be this. KDP handles Amazon, IngramSpark handles everything else, one ISBN, no conflicts. Step 1. Buy your ISBN. This is non-negotiable. If you accept a free ISBN from KDP, that number is locked to Amazon, and the same if you do it from IngramSpark. To use the same ISBN on both platforms, you have to bring your own. In the US, that means buying your ISBN from Bowker. Outside the US, many countries provide authors ISBNs for free. Either way, you'll use that same number for the paperback version at both KDP and IngramSpark. And note that you'll need a second separate number if you're also publishing a hardcover. Each version of your book needs its own ISBN, and the process I'm describing in this video will work for both paperbacks and hardcovers. Step 2. Set up your book at KDP first. It's really important to start with KDP. Go through the print book setup process like normal. Enter your title, subtitle, description, upload your interior and cover files, choose your categories and keywords, and then select the option to use your own ISBN and enter the number. And now comes the critical part, pricing and distribution. Set your prices for each region, but do not check the box for expanded distribution. Seriously, do not check that box. If you enable expanded distribution on KDP, Amazon will take over the wide distribution of your book, and IngramSpark will probably reject your ISBN when you try to set it up there. If you did accidentally check that box or have already gone through that process and have expanded distribution set up, all is not necessarily lost. I've recently heard from a few authors who were able to reach out to KDP and IngramSpark support and get that fixed, but don't count on it. It's best to avoid that headache entirely and not to check that box to begin with. Now, once you've completed the KDP setup, you have a choice. You can leave the book in draft, you can publish it right away, or for paperbacks only, not currently hardcovers, you can set a future release date. And yes, this is one of the new changes from the previous video I made. KDP now allows you to set a release date in advance for your paperbacks. That gives you two big advantages. One, you don't have to manually hit the button to publish on launch day. And two, you can now order author copies of your paperbacks ahead of time. These are real copies of your book, not the old proof versions that have not for resale across the cover. And again, this currently only works for paperbacks. Hardcovers still have to be manually published on release date. It's possible they could enable future release dates for hardcovers at some point, so this video could be outdated by the time you see it, so double check on that. And step 3, set up the book at IngramSpark. Now you'll go to IngramSpark and enter all the same information. Same title, same author name, same ISBN you used at KDP. IngramSpark used to charge a setup fee but doesn't now. Instead, they added some other fees into the chain so it all kind of evens out. But they also charge for revisions after an initial grace window if you need to make changes to your book after that time passes. After that, you have to pay, but that's one of the costs of wide distribution. When you reach the final step at IngramSpark, you'll have 3 choices: save as a draft, publish immediately, or set a future release date. If you want your paperback or hardcover to be available for pre-order on Amazon, select that third option. Yes, it's a workaround, but it works. Here's how. When you set the release date in advance at IngramSpark, they will push the book out through their distribution network to all the bookstores, including Amazon. If KDP hasn't actively published your book live with that ISBN yet, they'll accept the IngramSpark one and put that up on Amazon for pre-order. Then, on release date, if you set the date in advance on KDP, your book will go live with the KDP version on Amazon on that day. If you didn't set the date in advance, you'll go on release date into KDP and hit the button to manually publish your book on Amazon through KDP. This will cause the KDP version of your book to override the IngramSpark one, and the KDP version will take over the listing page on Amazon. All future sales from that point forward on Amazon will go through KDP. But IngramSpark will still fulfill any pre-orders placed before that date. The result is KDP will own your Amazon distribution, and IngramSpark will own the distribution to everywhere else except Amazon. And there will be no duplicate listings because you used the same ISBN for both the KDP and the IngramSpark versions of your book. So there are 3 critical things to remember. Buy your own ISBN, don't use the free one from KDP or IngramSpark. Set up KDP first and IngramSpark second, and do not enable expanded distribution on KDP. If you do those 3 things in that exact order, everything should run smoothly. You'll get the best of both worlds: KDP's author-friendly interface and Amazon advantages, plus IngramSpark's distribution and library access. And then your print book will be everywhere it needs to be.